Good morning, everyone. We have seats available for those of you who are sitting or who are standing in the back. It's really my pleasure to welcome you all on this glorious fall day in Vermont. My name is Rick Page. I'm Dean of the Larner College of Medicine, and I'm so pleased to welcome you to really one of the universities and one of the Larner College of Medicine's most revered traditions, the endowed faculty investiture ceremony. I make note of all of you in attendance and also anybody who is joining us on Zoom. I just checked behind the curtain. We're live and we're going out across the world today as we share this special day. I do have the pleasure of recognizing today with you and celebrating the Dr. William or Gabe Tharp as the inaugural holder of the Michael O'Reilly, MD, MS, Green and Gold Professorship in Anesthesiology. Today, we're privileged to have special guests joining us on this occasion, including UVM President Patty Prelock, UVM Foundation President and CEO Monica DeLisa, Senior Associate Dean for Clinical Affairs at the Larner College of Medicine and President of the Medical Group for UVM Health Network, Jason Sanders, and Provost Linda Shadler. We've had a bit of a change. Acting, interim, they don't matter anymore. This is our president and provost, and we're really honored to have everyone here today. The Michael O'Reilly Green and Gold Professorship was established just last year thanks to the generosity of Dr. Michael O'Reilly, who received his MS degree in cell biology from UVM and his MD here at the College of Medicine, now the Larner College of Medicine, in 1990. Dr. O'Reilly was the first physician to work for Apple and is an executive on the health team working on special projects. And he told me last night that means things I'm not allowed to know about, but they are special and they will be important. I'm confident. In addition, he's clinical professor of anesthesiology at Stanford University and an adjunct associate professor of anesthesiology at the University of Michigan. Thanks to Dr. O'Reilly's generosity, this professorship will support Dr. Tharp in his research and academic endeavors. Endowed positions like this are enormously important and are among the highest honors that the university can bestow on a faculty member. Investing outstanding faculty members with endowed chairs and professorships allows the university to recognize and celebrate academic achievement and to further encourage scholarship, service, and clinical excellence. At the Larner College of Medicine, named professorships and chairs are important in marking the successful trajectory of our high-achieving faculty members. And by providing resources for research and scholarly activities, these positions enable our college's most gifted faculty to excel. These academic accolades help us recognize the most distinguished researchers, scientists, physicians, and leaders in medicine and in biomedical research. They help us recruit and retain the very best so that extraordinary faculty members such as these and such as Dr. Tharp can create a dynamic and engaging environment that provides exceptional education and mentorship for our students, staff, and faculty. For these reasons, on behalf of the Larner College of Medicine, I'm tremendously grateful for this gift from Dr. Michael O'Reilly. Now it's my pleasure to introduce President Patty Prelock. I'm still getting used to this. She started Tuesday. The President Prelock to give her comments on the importance of this special day. Please join me in welcoming President Prelock.
Thank you so much, Dean Page. It's always so great to be here. I love these special moments where we honor our faculty who are incredible, talented clinicians, physicians, PhDs, et cetera. And thank you for everyone who's attending and who's visiting us online. I appreciate that. And to really support the generosity of our donor, Dr. Michael O'Reilly. And as interim president or president, it is a great honor to take part in this academic tradition and to recognize Dr. Tharp for the exceptional record of service to medicine that he brings to the university and to the medical community. A valued member of the University of Vermont community since 2006, Gabe completed both an MD and a PhD, including an NIDDK F30 fellowship at UVM from 2006 to 2014. And it's important to know that while he was a student, Gabe received the highest honors, the 2014 Dean Joseph B. Warshaw MD Scholarship Award for the highest quality doctoral dissertation, and the 2014 John E. Mazuzin Jr. Award for Best Medical Student rotating through anesthesiology. After finishing his anesthesiology residency at UVM, Dr. Tharp was recruited to the faculty of the Department of Anesthesiology. They knew they had someone great and they were not going to let him go in 2018, and he's currently an associate professor there. He has published his research in high-impact peer-reviewed journals, presented at national and international meetings, and impressively mentored numerous high school students, medical students, residents, as well as other faculty. His novel and innovative research in how to more safely and physiologically provide intraoperative ventilatory care and to reduce disparities in the care for adults with obesity, for me, is truly inspirational and highly likely to instill fundamental change in how we improve clinical practice in this area. Dr. Tharp exemplifies commitment to groundbreaking research and utilization and development of innovative medical devices, all leading to improve and bettering medical and anesthesia care, something that Dr. O'Reilly espouses and envisions through the Green and Gold Professorship in his name. Thank you for that. Dr. Tharp and all members of the faculty and staff affiliated with the Department of Anesthesiology embody the mission of the Larner College of Medicine, and I'm grateful to their commitment to excellence, which for me, the College of Medicine is a gem on this campus. And they are not alone. Every day we have faculty, staff, and students pursue innovative research that supports healthy societies and a healthy environment. Really the key components of amplifying our impact, which is our strategic vision that really guides our work by weaving together three core elements: ensuring that our students have success, that we're investing in the university's distinctive research strengths, and we're really leaning into our land-grant mission to develop healthy societies and a healthy environment. And I might add that our community works to build meaningful relationships with the community, with patients, and with one another. As interim president, it's my priority to increase support and resources for leaders like Gabe, for the Larner College of Medicine, and for the Department of Anesthesiology. I know Monica is happy to hear that. It's really important to support our research agenda that we have, and also to make change in the clinical practice, which I really am so proud of in this state, because of the incredible physicians, PhDs, clinical scientists, staff that we have. Dr. Tharp, I am thrilled to welcome you to this esteemed group of endowed professors and chairs. And Dean Page and I and the entire Larner College of Medicine look forward to celebrating your continued exceptional achievements. I know you will not disappoint. Congratulations, and thank you again, Linda and Michael.
Thank you so much, President Prelock, and thank you for the years of support you've provided for our college, first as provost and now as president. We're really grateful for your support. It's now my pleasure to welcome our next speaker, the chair of the Department of Anesthesiology, Dr. Rebecca Oslickson. She holds an MD from Harvard and received her PhD from the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. She's an anesthesiologist and chair of the Department of Anesthesiology for UVM and for the UVM Health Network as a network department chair. She's a tenured professor of anesthesiology at the Larner College of Medicine in UVM. She's board certified and is among the few who are board certified, not just in anesthesiology, but also critical care medicine and hospice and palliative care. Her research interests include critical care, perioperative care, anesthesia, and palliative care. We were thrilled when we recruited her from Stanford to serve as chair of the Department of Anesthesiology. And really, our college, our university, and frankly, I are judged on the quality of the people we bring in. And we really knocked it out of the park when we recruited Dr. Oslickson. She's a clinician, researcher, educator, and leader, and she's driven to improve person-centered care, particularly in critical care and perioperative spaces, and through incorporation of palliative care practices and practitioners. Dr. Oslickson will now have the honor of introducing our honoree, Dr. Tharp. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Rebecca Oslickson.
Whoa, what a special day. Look at how many more chairs we needed. This is wonderful. Dr. Tharp, what a tribute to you. Dr. O'Reilly, what a tribute to you. Clearly, what you're doing means a lot to many people who want to celebrate this special moment. So President Prelock, you did a lot of the introduction. I'm just like, okay. So you got him through residency. So we hired Dr. Tharp onto faculty. He was an instructor in 2018. He was promoted to be an assistant professor in 2019 and an associate professor in 2023. He is a superlative clinician scientist. He has an active and innovative research portfolio, a sincere commitment to teaching, a marrow deep passion for mentorship, and excellent skills as a clinical anesthesiologist. And I could say my very first day in the OR here, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know where anything was. And I got thrown to a room and they're like, guess what? You're getting a thoracic anesthesia case. I'm like, I don't know where any of the equipment is, but who's the one person Gabe, phone. Gabe, can you come to room 1? I'm not sure where everything is, because that's the kind of clinician and person he is. When you are in trouble and you don't know and you're feeling vulnerable, he's the first person you want to call because he knows what to do. He's a kind human being and he's a superlative clinician. So Dr. Tharp's research work allows anesthesiologists, critical care practitioners, and pulmonologists to provide more physiologic and safer care for patients on a ventilator, particularly those with obesity. Needless to say, our human pulmonary physiology did not evolve for a ventilator or for certain laparoscopic surgical procedures now where people are essentially put on their head for hours at a time so that the surgeons can have access to the internal organs. So our bodies weren't built for this. And how do you ventilate people? How do you care for them? That's what Dr. Tharp studies. So for patients with obesity, this physiology and positioning is even more difficult and has been essentially unstudied up to this point. So Dr. Tharp is part of an elite international cohort of pulmonary physiologists using evidence to thoughtfully question basic tenets of respiratory mechanics and anesthesia practice. When Gabe comes in, people go, I can do that? The positive end expiratory pressure can be that high? Yes, because it's good for patients. I mean, his research shows us that. He's generating evidence for how we can safely and physiologically ventilate otherwise healthy but anesthetized patients with obesity. In 2020, his research was featured on the cover of our clinical discipline's leading peer-reviewed journal, Anesthesiology, with the findings supported by an editorial, podcast. This was a big deal. So the summer before last, he was invited to present his research in Liguria, Italy at an elite international meeting of leading pulmonary physiology researchers. And in fact, he presents his research work, or I should say, his research work is regularly presented at national and international meetings. Note my verb here. I use past tense here, presented, because Dr. Tharp is not only an amazing and highly productive researcher, but also an impeccable mentor. And it is usually his mentees, the medical students and residents who are working with him, who are doing the presenting. Indeed, when you get to know Gabe, you will see limitless pictures of Dr. Tharp's research work being presented at a national meeting. In the forefront of the picture is this beaming, proud medical student resident, big smile. Next to the poster there, you could just feel their pride. And a little bit behind them, maybe a little bit to the side, a little bit in the back, is Dr. Tharp, who has just as equally big of a smile and a proudness about it. And you can see how much he cares about his work and how he really cares that this trainee who he mentored is the one who's there presenting it. Which just goes to your humility, Gabe, which knows no bounds. So not surprisingly, and despite being relatively junior in his career, Dr. Tharp has received numerous intramural and extramural awards for his research work, including, I'm picking up from you, President Prelock, because you got us up to 2018. So 2020 to 2022, he received the University of Vermont Health Network Medical Group Research Award, a 2019 to 2021 Loan Repayment Award from the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, and what I am particularly proud about, a 2023 to 2025 research training grant from the International Anesthesia Research Society. These are extremely prestigious grants. I could continue to recount Dr. Tharp's many more accomplishments as an educator, a clinician, a mentor, a sponsor, a colleague, and even just an incredibly kind, humble, lovely human being. But there is not enough time today, this week, or this month to really recount his many accomplishments. So in conclusion, we are so grateful to have Dr. Tharp as part of our Department of Anesthesiology, our Larner College of Medicine, and our University of Vermont family. So we will now present Dr. Tharp with the medallion that marks this occasion and signifies his status as the holder of an endowed chair. We hope he will wear it with his academic regalia at commencement and at other official university functions. Dr. Tharp, will you step forward, please? Great. Dr. William Gabe Tharp is a highly respected researcher, clinician, teacher, and scholar. He has dedicated his career to improving the lives of patients and families who face complex and challenging journeys. Through his research, teaching, and leadership, he will ensure that we constantly improve our ability to care for patients here in Vermont and around the world. His presence brings great distinction to the Robert Larner, MD, College of Medicine at the University of Vermont and to the Department of Anesthesiology. Dr. Tharp, the inaugural Michael O'Reilly, MD, MS, Green and Gold Professor of Anesthesiology in the Department of Anesthesiology, we honor you today with this medallion, which serves as an enduring symbol of the excellence you strive to achieve in all aspects of your professional life. Great. Dr. Tharp.
Well, thank you guys all for coming. And those of you know that know me know that I have kind of been dreading this part of it for a long time. I want to start by saying thank you to everybody that came today. And I want to say thank you to my wife. Becky has the other Dr. Tharp has carried me through a lot of tough times and really has been central to this dream that I had for a long time of being a biomedical scientist and pursuing the work that I'm getting to do today. And so when I was asked to reflect on what this endowed professorship means to me, I thought a lot about the history of being here and 20 years of being at this institution in a lot of different capacities. And my relationship with this institution started with 3 years of rejection from the medical school. So I started with a little bit of an adversarial tone. But the fourth time's the charm. And apparently it's not the record. So that first era of my relationship with UVM as an institution was really characterized by sort of a feeling of frustration. And I had a young family. We had little kids and another one on the way. And I was really feeling a lot of pressure to at least even begin to this dream that I had of being a scientist. And really that rejection sort of galvanized a stubbornness that many of you probably recognize. And it really left me with a chip on my shoulder towards the sort of the system, the institution at large. And even though I was really grateful and super relieved when I did get into medical school, I still remember Tiffany Delaney calling me in my office and saying, "Why don't you come down to the admissions office?" And I said, "Really, what for?" She said, just come down to the admissions office. I still felt like I really had something to prove to this institution that had sort of pushed me off several times. But it's in navigating all the obstacles. Like this, really nice to hear sort of the history of some of the things that happened. But what I think about a lot when I was thinking about this is a lot of the obstacles or the closed doors that had to be opened. Um, and and over the course of medical school and graduate school and residency and raising two boys and helping my wife go through her PhD and start her own company, I really started to appreciate the UVM as the people, the friends and family and mentors here that helped us or protected us or pushed me into the deep end when I needed it. And so those of you who have graciously and enthusiastically given me your time and effort and expertise and care, thank you. You have helped turn that adversarial stubbornness into a real passion, and let it become passion and excitement for what we do, and for taking care of the community, and also getting to do this exciting stuff. Because I'd really rather talk to you about lung mechanics and and I have really cool proteomics data we should talk about. But I really appreciate the people that helped this turn into a passion for this vocation and for the institution. So when I reflect on the Green and Gold Professorship, this very generous gift, and what it represents, it represents an immense amount of gratitude to all of you and the people who aren't here today that helped that are friends and mentors and colleagues that are UVM to me now. And so I think of this as a really great, tangible form of acceptance from the monolithic institution that I was sort of feeling rejected by for so long. And so I thought about that. I was a little nervous about saying this with some of the folks here, but I was really inspired by Dr. O'Reilly's story, because he has his own very nuanced relationship with this institution. And I think that great things can come from difficult beginnings. And so that's where I want to leave it. Thank you.
That was beautiful, Dr. Tharp. Most of the time we get it right. Sometimes it takes a few tries, as Dr. O'Reilly might attest as well, before we get it right. But thank goodness we did get it right. I now get to bring up Dr. O'Reilly. Would you please join me? And let me have you stand right here.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
There we go. So I get to do this by myself. I feel like I've known Mike actually for longer than I have. And the first time and the only time we met until this week was by Zoom. But thanks to the beauty of Zoom, we actually got to develop a relationship, get to know each other. And I even got to see this really super cool block of, what is it, of aluminum with an apple in it that you get when you've reached a 10-year milestone. And that was the way, I was in your office and you were in my office when we first met. And then getting to meet this week and listening to your talk, your beautiful talk this week, and having dinner, it took a while, and I think the nuance is gone, and the relationship is certainly so warm between, or certainly for us here at UVM and the College of Medicine, and take such pride in all your accomplishments. So now I get to acknowledge you more formally in presenting you a medallion. So I have a script for this, Mike, so bear with me. Dr. O'Reilly, your generosity has made this inaugural professorship possible and it will stand as an enduring legacy to your commitment to improve the lives of patients and their families throughout this region and beyond, in keeping with the missions of this university and the Larner College of Medicine. On behalf of the Department of Anesthesiology, the Larner College of Medicine, and our beloved UVM, please accept this duplicate of the medallion we've just presented to Dr. Tharp. We hope this will serve as a tangible reminder of how grateful we are for your generosity and your extraordinary work. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Will you now share some? It's not quite as big as the Apple thing, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Will you now share some words with us, Dr. O'Reilly?
Well, sure. Well, thank you. It's really, it's been a wonderful visit. I had to prepare something I was going to say to the residents the other night when I met with them, and then I had to come up with this grand rounds talk yesterday. And then it occurred to me I would be expected to make a few comments here, but I thought I'm just going to wing it because I was pretty burned out after doing those other things. But thank you for having me. It's really great to see so many people here. I had no idea this many people would show up, and it's been really satisfying to be here and seeing some of my colleagues, the people that made me into what I am today. I really knew what I was going to say when Gabe said it took him 3 tries to get into medical school, because I first visited UVM in 1974, 50 years ago, and I really made a big impression on me because I met this guy named Larry Weed, who was developing this computer system that was designed to improve, knowledge. He had called the problem knowledge coupler about how to actually use computers to actually deliver more care. And now 50 years later, I got this incredible job at Apple, and I was able to, continue in the work. But it took me 6 times to get into UVM. Literally, I applied 4 years in a row, and then I thought I was not going to get into medical school, and I just gave up. I said, it's not going to happen for me. And I went into business, and I learned how to write business plans and how to ask people for money. And when at one point I was living in Vermont, at that point I happened to do consulting work, and I had a project in Vermont. I ended up living here, and I really, felt I was so sad that I didn't get into medical school. It was really devastating for me. But the USA hockey team beat the Russians in hockey at the Olympics, and I think it's 1980, called the Miracle on Ice. It was an absolutely phenomenal thing that happened that was totally unexpected. And I said, well, if that can happen, I can go to medical school. So I actually determined to go to medical school. So I came and I applied to medical school again, got rejected because they said I'd been out of college for too long. So I came here, and I got broke into a little sweat walking in the dean's office there, because Dean Torme, I don't know if anybody here ever even remembers him, but I had to go meet with him just to ask him, what's the deal here? And he said, he got mad. He actually threw me out of his office. He said, you can do it, not do it, I don't care. You got to go back to school or not. It's up to you. Do whatever you're going to do. So I enrolled in graduate school, and I ended up doing a project with Richard Gamelli and with Dr. Hebert. And because of my business experience, I was willing and dealing. I ended up with a bunch of grants from different companies and public, and I worked with Dr. Hebert, who now I feel like I can call him Jim Hebert now that, but at Apple, nobody calls me Dr. O'Reilly ever. It's just very informal kind of place. Except one day I was in the cafeteria at Cafe Max, and I hear somebody go, Dr. O'Reilly, who was one of the residents from Stanford, was dating one of the engineers. But it's really great to see Dr. Hebert here, and had a big impact on the fact that I ended up with this job. And when talking to President, I know she had an Apple Watch. And I said, oh, you have an Apple Watch? That's great. She goes, well, we did this program with the We program where they gave out a bunch of Apple Watches. And she's telling me this I didn't know, right? So I just said, you're welcome. But when you say I work at special projects at Apple, it means, when you work at Apple and they say, what do you do? I work on special projects. They go, okay, we can't, In fact, when I first got there, I couldn't tell anybody I was an anesthesiologist because they didn't want anybody to know that Apple had done that. but I am basically disclosed on all of Apple's current and future products. And I'll be retiring in January, so I'll have to try to forget them all, but it's really exciting. We got some stuff coming down the line, which I think is going to be, you know, as ubiquitous as the iPhone. So anyway, thank you. It's been really great visiting here. I'm hoping to somehow maintain a relationship with the university because I see a tremendous potential for innovation here, which I've come to realize as I've been here. And let me say something about Gabe. I didn't really know anything about Gabe. Rebecca said, you know, she said, "Who do you want to give this to?" You know, I said, "I don't know, whoever you think," you know. But we had a reception the other night, and wow, it was really touching. The people got up one after another and talked about him, and it was really fantastic. I was starting to wonder, like how long is this going to go on for? I mean, it's like, you know, it's like. So I'll end my comments there because I know that everybody's like, you know, probably got other stuff to do today. But thank you very much. It's really been an honor to be here, and thank you to all my faculty, all my mentors, the people who gave me the opportunity to become what I became. And thank you very much. I'm enormously grateful.
Thank you so much, Dr. O'Reilly. It's really been a pleasure to get to know you as well. As we conclude the program today, I'd like to thank all of the speakers and express again how deeply grateful we are to you being here and you and Linda sharing this time with us. And I'd like to give one more round of applause to Dr. O'Reilly. Here at the Larner College of Medicine, every day we take pride in the important research, teaching, and clinical care that our faculty members provide. So much of their work is thanks to generosity and support from donors, some of whom are in this room, some of whom are listening from behind the screen in Zoom world. And just think that your generosity is going to forever allow us to have this position. And whether you envisioned it the first, second, or third time you applied, Mike, here you are. Your name is inextricably connected to our college and our university, and that's kind of a special thing. I do also want to acknowledge one more time our honoree, Gabe Tharp. You make us all proud. Congratulations. So in closing, I want to thank everybody for being here today. There's some food, refreshments. Please continue to enjoy the company of each other on this glorious day here in Vermont. For those watching from outside, for those here, please stay well, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much for being here today. Have a great day.